Follow me for a complete flow sequence focusing on the lower body. We're going to get into the hips, the glutes, the legs, the ankles, and the feet. And this is a great sequence for general maintenance of the lower body, or if you need to spend a little bit more time targeting the lower body specifically. So we're going to begin standing, just taking a moment here to feel your posture and feel your body in space. Feeling your feet on the floor and feeling your spine nice and tall. We're going to wake up and assess the movement of the hips. So we'll stand on one leg and lift one knee up as high as you can and bring it down. And other side, lift it up as high as you can and bring it down. If you have trouble balancing, you can do this hanging onto a wall or a chair, but see if you can find some balance here. Maybe even hold it for a moment, noticing if one side is harder or easier to lift up. Then from there, we're going to lift that knee up as high as it can go. And keeping that balance, we're going to open it to the side and come center. And again, open to the side and come center and lower down. It's a little hip activation and balance before we stretch. And let that go. Shake it out. Great. Next little warm-up move is the squat. So we're going to come on down into your squat, wherever it might be for you. Even if your squat's not very deep, we're going to commit to it. So feet are parallel at a distance that feels good, sending your hips back in space. Try to keep your spine long and make sure you're not looking down to the floor, but you're looking out right in front of you. I like to reach my arms in front and keep my shoulders back. Nice. Okay, let that go. We're going to come down to our mats, but first we're going to reach up through the spine, reaching tall, press the arms down, and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, coming into a forward fold. Just let the head go here. You may feel a nice deep stretch in the backs of your legs, maybe bending and stretching the knees a couple times, saying hello to your hamstrings. Great. Now we're going to walk forward slowly, and you can come on to your mat, and we're going to spin around onto our seat. We're going to start with our legs wider than hips distance apart, shoulders down and back, spine is long, and coming into the windshield wipers. So nice and slow here. We're just waking up the hips, feeling internal rotation on one side and external rotation on other side. Noticing any little cracks and pops or imbalances you might feel. And no need to judge it, just notice. Great. Then from there, we're going to come around into 90-90 position just for a couple quick glute stretches here. So I've got one leg bent in front and the other leg bent behind me. I'm going to take a deep breath in, lift my spine tall, and exhale with a long spine tipping over into a stretch. And then slowly return, coming up to center. Again, inhale, lift, exhale, forward fold. Let's hold this here for a moment. If that's comfortable, maybe you can reach your arms out in front. Close your eyes and breathe. Nice. We'll slowly roll back up and transition to the other side. We can do a couple windshield wipers as a transition, continuing to loosen things up in the hips. All right, finding your 90-90 position on the second side, 90 degrees in the front, 90 degrees in the back. Lifting tall through the spine, and breathe as you hinge forward. And rolling up. Feel free to hold these stretches a little longer if you like, or if you prefer to flow through them, you can do that too. It's your body, so listen to what you need. If you're coming with me, we're going to hold it here for a couple breaths. Inhaling to expand. Exhaling to melt. Always using your breath and listening to your breath. Nice. Slowly come on up. And do one more windshield wiper. Okay, so now that the hips are a little bit warmer, we're going to come into a deeper hip flexor lunge stretch. So we're going to come around onto the knees. If you have sensitive knees, I recommend putting a pillow underneath so your knees are not on the hard floor. You're going to bring one leg in front here, 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle. I'm going to lift up nice and tall, drawing my lower belly in and up, squeezing your glutes gently. Think about your spine lifting up as you press forward and back. And again, press forward and back. And we'll press forward and hold it there. Just hold it as far as it feels okay. There's no need to go into a super deep lunge. We'll take a breath. This one can be hard to balance too sometimes. So if you need a chair or a wall to hang on to, that can be a good idea. Great. Now we're going to continue with this lunge stretch, but I'm just going to turn to face you so you can see me. So I'm going to come into that lunge stretch at a place that feels good. And now I'm going to lift up through my spine and then over into a side bend. So when we add the upper body, notice what it does to the hip. You might even feel this into your abdomen. Great. And then from here, I'm going to bring my arms like so in front and then gently twist to one way and then twist the other way. So adding upper body movement to our lower body stretches can be really powerful and really unlock things. Good. Come back to center. Lunging forward again. Maybe hold that for a moment. Let it melt. Breathe. And come on back. We'll just shake it out. Come into all fours. Wag your tail a couple times. Maybe circle those hips. Great. We'll come to the other side. So first setting up into the lunge. Nice and clear lunge here. Lifting up through the spine. Glutes are engaged. Gently press forward and back. Think about creating space in the body, so lifting your trunk up off of your hips. We never want to compress ourselves. We always want to expand ourselves. Maybe find an angle that feels good and hold it there for a moment. Breathe, letting your muscles soften. Good. And then for the next part of the stretch, we're going to add the spinal movement. So finding that lunge that works for you. Then we'll lift up and over. And come on back. Even just a little movement of the upper body can feel really nice here. Good. And then place the arms in front. Keep that spine long. Glutes are still engaged. And we rotate to one side and rotate to the other side. Exploring this a couple times. Tuning in. Notice how it feels compared to the other side. Come back to center. Press forward a little more. And come on back. Finding your all fours. Just shake out your tail. And we can rest in a child's pose for a moment. Nice deep breath there. And from your child's pose, slowly coming up We're going to make our way back onto the mat. And we're going to do a little inner thigh work. So we're going to come to sit with one knee bent and one leg extended out. So depending on your mobility, your leg might be closer in towards the midline or it might be further out. But no matter what, we want to make sure that kneecap is facing the ceiling. So if your knee is rolling in and that feels really hard, then bring your leg a little bit closer. So maybe your leg is at like 2 o'clock. Right? For bendy folks, maybe it's all the way back at 3 or even 4 o'clock, but work within a range that feels good on your body. We want to try to have both sit bones down on the floor. Okay, so once we find our position, we're going to take a breath here, inhale, lifting tall, and then exhale, come up and over into a side bend. And again, inhale. And side bend. Notice that my foot is flexed up to the sky and my leg that's out is active. Great. Now I'm going to keep that leg active and reaching, and I'm going to walk my hands forward. And then slowly come back. You're probably going to feel this in the inner thigh, the adductors of the leg that's extended. And then from there, you can keep your body low and just explore some different angles. Walking to the left and walking to the right. You may also feel this in your back, in other areas. Just breathe and work within the range that feels good for you. We'll pause there in the center again. And slowly come back up. Great. We'll switch sides, folding one leg in and the other leg out long. Finding that angle that feels nice for your hips, flex that foot and actively keep that leg stretched out. Take a deep breath in as we lift and exhale to tip over to the side. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale, folding sideways. Then come center. Inhale to lift. Exhale, tipping forward. Try to maintain a long spine. Even if you come forward just an inch, that's still going to be beneficial. And we'll hold that there. And if it feels good in your body, you can start to walk your hands right and left, finding different angles of the stretch. Keep that leg that's extended active and engaged. Make sure it doesn't fall asleep. Nice. Continuing to explore your own stretches for your own body. Pause in the middle again, maybe folding deeper. And slowly returning to center. Nice. Let's let that one go with a windshield wiper. Awesome. We're going to slowly make our way up to finish and see how we're feeling. So you can tuck your toes underneath, lift your hips up, slowly walk back to your feet. Pause in that forward fold again. And when you're ready, slowly roll up through your spine. All right, shake out those legs. Hopefully we've got some nice blood flow going in the lower body. We'll wash that out with a couple squats. And just notice how that feels. Maybe picking one knee up and down again. Notice how that feels. Did anything improve? Does it feel freer, lighter? Just tuning into your body, noticing what happened. Okay, there you go. Enjoy your flow sequence for the lower body. Great for everyday maintenance of the lower body.